Hello everyone, and welcome back to my MapleStory Paladin series. My name is Jackdaw. If I sound a little sick, it's because I am, so bear with me on that. The last upload for this series was 8 months ago in February. There's been a lot of changes in my life since then, which got me thinking about why I started this series in the first place. The first upload for this series being 2 years ago, about when the pandemic started. So I don't know. It's been a bit of a diary for me of sorts. The first episode happened a little after I moved across the country to Detroit. I moved from California over to Michigan, which was a bit of a trek. But I've still been able to pursue my passions, and it's been a little bit more accessible over here. Or I guess approachable is a better word. And also I've been able to really get into content creation on YouTube. I tried to do that back in California, especially when I was younger. I still have a couple of my old YouTubes that I tried to upload certain things that would get attention, like Pokemon videos and whatnot. But I don't know. I've been able to explore a lot of this here, including in MapleStory. I mean, this game has been sort of a mainstay in my life for the past 15 years or something. It's ridiculous how much this game has been in my life. Such that, I remember Cradia. I remember my first world was Kaini. I was barely in middle school. That's insane. But I wanted to spend this episode catching up with you folks, and also sort of chronicling what's been going on in my life since I last uploaded a video for this series. I know I want to make it a point to try to get the story across, so I'll try not to skip through all of this dialogue, just because I think you folks would like the story here. Also, as of now, I'm not sure if the final Tengu fight is glitched. I know it used to be glitched, where you couldn't even do the weird mechanic that, and you'll see when I get to Tengu, but Tengu has a weird mechanic to beat him, and I think it's fixed now, so we're gonna find out. But in any case, the last video for this series, and I've uploaded a bit since then, some bossing videos here and there, little update progression videos, which I like the progression videos style. I think it's a lot of fun to sort of recap what I've been doing, and I think I might do another mini one for this, for between what Ignition and the last big update was that I forget the name of. But the last episode happened before I put my childhood cat Mystery down, and it was a mutual decision between me and my significant other. She was getting up there in age, and she started really showing her health problems, such that she had a seizure the night before, and it was no, we can't let her suffer like this anymore. So I think it was literally the day after I uploaded that video. We took her into the vet, and I hope none of you have to take in your pets, especially now, because I don't think anybody is. I don't think any veterinary office is allowing people back to be with your pet as they pass on. But I don't know, Mystery. If MapleStory's been with me for 15 plus years, Mystery's been there for. Mystery is the one of the other things that's been there for longer. I got her for my 9th birthday 20 years ago, and she was almost 20, which is insane to me. but she's sort of like a last vestige of my dad. And like, not to be, even more down or anything. Yeah, I want to be pretty transparent about, transparent but not specific. I lost my dad a couple years ago too, not pandemic related. So, would be interesting if he was living through this right now. But, she was she was like sort of like the last vestige of my dad. So the losing her sort of hit harder than I thought, and it really threw me for a loop. She saw me through elementary school, middle school, high school. She saw me through community college, regular college, or not regular college, it's a bad word for it, 4-year university that I transferred to, and grad school. And even more, like she moved over to Michigan. We drove her over from California over to Michigan, which was a delightful trip. Let me tell you, make sure you get anti-anxiety meds for your pets if they're nervous about going in a car, because Mystery was very vocal the entire time. But she was a sweet little cat, and I'm glad that she got to see such big moments in my life, and she also got to be, and I'm stealing this name from the Detroit Tigers subreddit, she got to be a Motor City Kitty just for a couple years. So I'm glad she got that moniker. I miss her, obviously. I got a tattoo of her from the artist that did my, I got a Last of Us 2 tattoo. I don't know if I showed you folks, but I went to the same artist to do line work, a black line work portrait of her, and I don't know, it was sweet. Now I get to like carry her with me everywhere. That loss hit me a little bit harder than I thought it did. It was something that, again, like, it was a long time coming. We were expecting it, and I don't know. I don't know. It was expected, but it was also unexpected, and it was also just like, the wanting her to just live a little bit more so she can hit the big 2-0. We were planning to give her some like cat wine if she got to 21, but nevertheless, she also saw that was the last big thing that happened. I've uploaded a couple videos since then, but I'd never really like touched this series in earnest since losing her. You can call it grief, you can call it laziness, but I've also done other things since then. Mystery was also she saw me off getting a new job, and for the past couple of years it's been, not including the pandemic, of course, but for like the past couple of years it's been a lot of like food service jobs, classic college graduate food service jobs, and I moved into a good job, a job that doesn't pay, less than a living wage, a job that gives me health benefits, and I'm currently on a sick day, a paid sick day, because that is part of the benefits that this full-time position offers, which is just such a privilege, and like, one could say a blessing to have. But this new job, and it was something I never really expected to go into, because all of my experience has been in mostly like nonprofits. Um, Mostly like nonprofit experience, a little bit of like teaching. I used to be for my graduate program, I was a professor on record for, your English 101 kind of class. So my job now, completely out of the blue, it was gotten through. I was able to get it through one of my friends actually, who worked in supply chain management, which I know sounds boring, and for the most part, I think the day-to-day work is. But I think getting here and also like the stuff that I see in a more nuanced way, being at this job, I appreciate it. I've been reading a couple of like Ursula K. Le Guin books, and like there's like moments of I finished The Dispossessed. I finished and then I also finished The Word for World is Forest, and both of them weirdly had like little moments of like logistics in it. Especially The Dispossessed, because it's between like two different planets. One of them being like a mining colony. Vastly understanding the theme of that. I can get into that later. But I don't know. I had zero experience in supply chain management. I was I went to school for theater and English, which is your sort of classic. It's your classic like, oh, I'm unemployed or underemployed for the rest of my life, which is such a bummer. Because after getting this job, I'm like, oh no, like I can't believe that like that Reddit bullshit anymore. Like you can do, like pretty much anybody can do any job, save for like those like licensed ones, like being a medical doctor, or I guess like being an engineer, just because like that needs like specific credentials and shit like that. But for the most part, like I'm making more than I would be in like, I think even like I don't know, the entry level positions in nonprofits that I was looking at were like 35 to 40K with benefits, of course, so like it adds up to be a little bit more, but also like, dude, that's so low for like what you're requiring. Like a lot of these places required like bachelor's and master's degrees. This one didn't, so I'm not really like getting paid what I'm worth, quote unquote. I mean, I'm doing my job and I think I'm doing it well, so whatever. But I don't know. Never would have expected to be here. Going to the schools that I went to and going to the kind of programs that I went to. Sorry, Ibaraki wants me to pay him money? Do I need to transfer money? No, I don't. Okay, cool. But I don't know. I went to grad school to get professionalization experience. And a lot of that was doing like nonprofit work. I had a couple of internships between undergrad and through grad school that were related to nonprofits, very specifically theater nonprofits. And I don't know, those were very helpful. What the? I can't jump and do that. Can I? Oh, there we go. You have to like jump at the same time. But one of them was like an education. Was with like an education department, and it was less teaching, more outreach to schools. Another one was in development and fundraising, so it was a lot of like researching prospective donors, which was so much fun, weirdly. I will say. But that was what I wanted to do for grad school. If anybody is watching this and is considering grad school, please go to a one that pays for you, because mine was a state school, so and because of personal circumstances, I think I'm gonna be debt free anyways. But it was something that I needed to pay for. So it was cheap, but added to the student loan debt total. But it was useful to get internships and fellowships and shit like that. And also I was able to get some teaching experience, and I learned a lot about teaching at the same time. And once I finished the program, once I finished my graduate program, I had a couple of really strong internships under my belt. I had a year of teaching, so I was like, all right, I'm solid. And my graduation date was December 2019. Which, don't recommend graduating at that time. Not fun. Drinking a Perrier right now. Because the pandemic happened a couple months afterwards. I was able to get in the room for interviews, which is a lot more than a lot of the folks that I going on Reddit and other forums to see job woes. People sending out 300 applications and only getting an email back from less than 1%. Saying hey, you want an interview? I did not apply to 300 things. I applied to maybe 50, and that's being generous. But the ones that I did apply to, and I did spend my time putting in effort, really tailoring my resume and my cover letter to. They were the ones that called me back, and that was 100%. Every one that I did effort on the application, tailoring it and all that stuff, 100% of those I got an interview. I got an in-person interview. I don't know how that landscape has changed since COVID. So grain of salt, of course. But I do know that the landscape for nonprofits did sort of change, and it really sort of evaporated any sort of position that I was. Where do I go? I don't know. I'm gonna go right. Let's see. Oh, neat. Oh, we have to do it's a weird kill everything. Alright, cool. That's not too bad. Is Blast I'm sorry, I'm sort of talking through. 3 enemies hit? I probably should have looked at where the frick deals divine mark. Is that what I need? Is divine mark or divine charge the thing to do? I actually have no idea. Whatever. Yes, the last time I left off, also I did not know the changes for paladins, so apologies if this is weird. Where was I? Yeah, graduating in December 2019, and also into nonprofits, which don't really do that well in pandemics and recessions. But I'm really happy for my time there. I think if 2020 to now didn't happen, I would have gotten a job in the field that I wanted. But that's not what happened. So supply chain, I guess. Supply chain is an interesting field, I will say. Anything, logistics is another word for it. And it's usually housed in like a business school. So and I'm, I apologize if I offend anybody. I don't imagine there's any business major or former business person listening to me talk over a MapleStory video. But supply chain management and logistics was not something that I studied for. It was not something I got internships in. But something that is like, especially like being like 8 months, almost 9 months into the job, it's been really fascinating. I don't mean the work itself, because I'm basically just sending emails for the most part. But sort of like the overarching, like, how does all this work? How do we get things from point A to point B? It was cool because it contextualized a lot of jobs that I had before, especially in food service, when and those who've worked food service will know, like, Cisco bringing in Cisco or Gordon Food Service, I think. I don't know, it was GFS or whatever. Like any of those like big companies, like just bringing in food. Or one of the restaurants I worked at had a commissary, so they cooked and prepared food off-site to prepare at the restaurant. So like, we had like braises that were like cooked and marinated off-site, and then we would just sort of finish those up at the restaurant. But that is like, for the most part, logistics. That is a supply chain. That is, things going from not point A, because I think that's more of a point B kind of thing. It's been good. It's been a fun time. Understanding like the part of the economy that I'm not familiar with, and especially coming from somebody who does like artsy-fartsy theater things, and very amateur content creation on YouTube. It's really fascinating, honestly, and I don't know. It's been a good 9 months. I think I got like a Employee of the Month award in August, which was really affirmed. It was really like self-affirming for me, and I don't know. It's been good, and it's allowed me to A, get new glasses, B, take vacations, paid vacations. I also was able to like travel for work, which was really cool. Me and one of my coworkers traveled to a different state. So, and it was like, all paid for by the company. And that was a lot of fun. And I hope I get to do a little bit more of that. But as that wasn't the only thing I've been doing since then. I've also been doing my passions, right? Like I've done a lot of theater things, and I've been wanting to get into writing, and like script playwriting for a while. I've been doing a couple of classes outside of a school setting, but with like playwrights themselves who host workshops, and those have been really like enlightening, and have really like sort of honed my voice as a writer. But as far as like practice is concerned, I was a part of. God, I think we were just doing our first show when like a little after. I think like right before the last upload in February. I don't know. I have to look at the poster, but um, I was on a production team for a local theater, and I will name the theater because I think it's a great place, and anybody in the area should visit there. Um, Planet Ant. I was a part of a farm team at Planet Ant, specifically for like new works. Planet Ant is in Metro Detroit. If any of you folks watch The Detroiters, or I Think You Should Leave, especially, the creator of both of the creators of both of those, Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson went there, and then also like Keegan Michael Key started it, which is really cool. So there's a lot of like a legacy as far as like Detroit comedy is. But I was on the New Works farm team, which got together 6 different folks to do 6 different shows. And within those shows, there were 4 different positions that we held. The first one that I did was marketing. I marketed a show, and that was basically, I say marketing very loosely because I imagine there's more to marketing than just making a poster. But that was fun to like learn Photoshop. I'm really proud of the poster I made. But it was a lot of fun to be on like that side, on like the I've been on like especially from like my internships. I wasn't directly involved in rehearsals, but I was involved in like the administrative things of the show, which I think was really cool. The second position out of the 4 that I did was assistant directing, which was a nice like refresher from what I did in college. I did direct a little bit in college. I was a bit of a jack of all trades, I guess. Stage managing, I did acting, I started writing. I did grant writing too. I was able to get a grant to direct a show, which was really that was pretty sweet. But this got me back into like the swing of things. I forgot my hair was like that. That's really funny. But it was cool. It was cool to be in the rehearsal room. We did deal with a lot of COVID at the time. I know COVID is a thing right now too, so please be safe. But at the time, it was like, somebody would get COVID, and we'd do a remote rehearsal. Oh, it's a jump quest. Damn it. We would do like a remote rehearsal, and then, if they tested negative, god damn it. Oh, I can just go up here. If they tested negative, we'd have an in-person rehearsal and stuff like that. A lot of like lowercase L logistics going on, as far as rehearsals are concerned. Nope, that's not gonna work. Nope. Oh, this is gonna be great. But I think I think we really made it work, and I think the director of it especially really made it work. Where am I gonna fall? Never mind. Not gonna fall. We're good. Well, almost. So it was cool to like be with such like a flexible cast and crew, and I think we really made a great show for that one. Not gonna name the show for privacy reasons, but it was a good show nonetheless. And if you're ever in the area and you want to see like original shows, comedy or anything, Planet Ant was great. Is great, mind you, present tense. The third role that I was a part of, or the 3 out of the 4. I was a producer for a show, and I don't know, that was really difficult. That was doing like, and I acknowledge my flaws for that one. That was like, learning a lot about like paperwork, how to pay my actors, making sure my director and their assistant director were satisfied with rehearsal and safety and stuff like that. So I don't know. That was challenging in and of itself. It takes a certain kind of person to be a producer for theater. I am not that person. That is what I learned. And then the last one was I was a creator. I was a playwright and director, but you have to direct your own work for this team. I was able to direct my own work, and I wrote it too, and it was great. It was a cool little 40-minute one act. I got to be a part of, and the other ones I got to sit in on casting and stuff like that. And I did cast for my, I went through the sketch program at Planet Ant, so I got to cast for that too. But this felt more personal, in a sense. I wanted to make sure my entire team was men. We were all male identifying or very male presenting. So I wanted to be sure to make the actors women, or non-binary folk. But it was cool to raggle together a team. I was able to get a do I kill these guys? I think I do. Oh, I need a stompin' rock. Nice. I raggled together a team. I got a costume designer, and they were really cool. And they were also doing it remote, not because they had COVID for the entire rehearsal process, but because they were in another state. So it was, I don't know, that was a cool process. Just by virtue of directing, because it was just making sure we were communicating with folks who weren't even there, who were in a completely different area of the world, in a different time zone, and I think it was successful for me. And then on the writing side, I only really got to experience it with my first real internship, and it was with a new play festival, and that was right after undergrad. So it was a little bit ago, but because it was a new play festival, I got to see, and because there were readings at the end, I got to see the way that rehearsals were held in such a way that the playwright got feedback for their work, because for this play festival, it wasn't the final draft that they were doing, it was a reading of a draft that hopefully they would be able to either affirm what they wrote, or they would change what they thought was really confusing. And I think it it brought back those kinds of moments to remind myself, okay, I want I want a professional atmosphere. This is we had a budget of $1,500, so people did get paid, but so I guess technically it is professional, but professional in such a way that we're all collaborating together. I can take suggestions from actors if they feel certain moments are confusing or out of character or something like that. And I don't know, it was nice to be in the room and to collaborate with people like that. Where am I supposed to go? Yeah, I have enough. What are you talking about? Oh, okay. Sweet. But also it just sort of it gave me a perspective of a writer, and it gave me like, I want to I'm gonna do the super duper fox. It gave me like I know I've said like affirmed affirmation. It gave me the affirmation that like this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, is like, be a creative, be somebody who writes. It was so much fun, and right now I'm in the middle of writing a play. At some point it'll be produced, but for the moment, oh, that's what I forgot. Back to the show that I wrote. So the rehearsal process was great because it was like such a collaborative environment. But also singing and performance was really cool because I was nervous as fuck. I was so nervous because like seeing your own work, you're like something that you created on stage, in front of people, is so fucking nerve-wracking, man. It's so nerve-wracking, and I had to align myself with not the not to be crippled by self-doubt, not to be I didn't want to be, I don't know, nervous. I didn't want to be scared. Not necessarily scared. Scared is fine, but I didn't want to be. I didn't want to like go in like nervous about people's opinions of it, because people's opinions of my work help me develop the work. Like it's that double-edged sword, right? Like you have to hear like people saying like, man, that shit was confusing, in order for you to make it less confusing, So during our performance, we had like a 2-week run. I was like, okay, I want to look at my work objectively. I want to be able to sit here and see what moments the audience reacts to, and whether it be laughter, whether it be sadness, whether whatever reaction it is, defeat the Yakuza. Yeah, that's how it works. We get a bunch of foxes to defeat the Yakuza. That's how gang violence ends. That's so funny. But taking my work, taking a look at my work with objectivity in mind, rather than like, man, they didn't laugh at that, I'm fucking sad, and they didn't laugh at a joke that I wrote, and instead of being sad about that, being like, okay, well, how do I rewrite this such that they do laugh, or how do I rework this line such that they do laugh, or maybe I do want sadness, so how do I change that? So it was such a great experiment in just like understanding theater and understanding performance and understanding writing for an audience. I don't know, it just really gave me the affirmations that I needed. Your daddy's gift. I was playing the Foresight Lost, I couldn't find it in my house. I searched. So I don't know, that entire farm team experience was incredible for me. I developed a lot. I made a lot of new friends, especially because I'm still relatively new to the city. And I got to do work that I liked, and that I'm proud of. So I hope to get to do it again, especially at that theater. But we'll see about that. Other than that, there's not, other than getting a new job, losing a childhood cat, and participating in a bunch of shows, don't know. It's been a pretty chillax kind of year. I'm trying to get back into the swing of content creation. I did try out Twitch for a little bit. Not sure if I'm a fan of having something on the outside, but I'll see. I'll see what outside of YouTube. I mean, like I like having like one platform I can go to, but we'll definitely see. I did. I think it was really cool. For my birthday, I went to visit New York for the first time, and this is sort of coming off of the heels of a couple months of work, 5-day work weeks, stuff like that. And my sole purpose doing that vacation for my birthday was, I want to go see plays. I want to go see the thing that gives me life. So I went out, I flew out, I was able to stay with a friend on the Upper East Side, so I didn't have to worry about paying for a hotel room for the week, which thank you to him and his SO. Really appreciate that kindness. But I was able to see a couple different shows, and I was able to see a bunch of boroughs too. I've never been to New York before in my life, so it was completely fresh to me. It was so fascinating. Like, I think flying in, especially, it was like, wow, this is a big fucking city. Like, Detroit's big for the most part. Los Angeles is big. New York is massive. I think it's like just all of the high density housing and like office buildings. My God, it was just so big. A little overwhelming, I think, but I was able to not be completely overwhelmed. But, the plan for that week was I'm going to go see shows, and I'm going to go learn a lot from these shows and how they do writing and how they do theater over there specifically. And it was great to be able to just see a show literally almost every day. And that's not something that Detroit has currently. And if you do want to see a show every day here, you'd have to go up to like Flint, you'd have to go over to Ann Arbor. Like, it would be a bit of a drive, right? With New York City, specifically, it's like you just take a train. Like, you take a fucking subway. It's like maybe 30 minutes at most, and you see a show, and then you go back home, and that's it. And it was so great to see it like so lowercase a accessible, and just the amount of shows. I went to my first Broadway show. I've seen tours before, but this was like obviously my first Broadway show. I saw Hadestown, which was just absolutely incredible. Like in more ways than one. I try not to do standing ovations for a lot of shows, because I think having standards is and having opinions about shows is really important. And after seeing Paula Vogel's Indecent a couple of years ago, I don't know. I haven't seen a show as like really moving as that, and Hadestown was almost as moving as that, and I think it really accomplished what it set out to do. And the audience was just, the audience experience was like, and I know this sounds nerdy, but like the only time I've had a really cool audience experience up until then was like seeing the first Avengers movie. So going from like, and I'm sure we all remember what happened in those movies, because like they're fucking blockbusters. But seeing Hadestown and the audience around it just like so in tune with one another, and like, I don't know, it was such a cool show, both story and I don't know, like just meta theatrical wise. talking about audience interaction and stuff like that. And I know they're getting heat right now for one of the actors like pointing out somebody, so solidarity to that, to disabled people in theater. But the show at the time was fascinating. I was also able to see shows at smaller theaters. I went over to Brooklyn to see a couple shows. I saw shows that were written and created by old friends of mine. I went during the week that the UN General Assembly, that's what it's called, was at, and I went to a show, and after the show I walked around the corner, and one of the hotels just had a bunch of Secret Service agents out in front, and it was just like, I don't know, it was like, oh yeah, like New York City is such a like hub for culture and politics and like economy, and like not just for the country but like worldwide. But it was so cool. I don't know, it was a fascinating experience, and I got a lot from it. And I don't know, it made me decide to and I think I'll end this pretty soon after I finish this little thing. What happened to Karama? I'll finish this one pretty soon, just because I've talked. I think I've talked enough about this, and it's at 46 minutes right now. I don't know. I'm applying to grad school again. I have a non-terminal master's degree in a field that I didn't really identify with, and I'm just gonna put it out in the world. I'm applying to grad school again, and I have a couple schools that I'm applying to, and I hope to chronicle that here too, both the process and hopefully the wins. If not, you'll hear about the losses too. That's not it. Stop cutting me off. But yeah, that's what's been happening for the past couple months. I've been playing MapleStory on the side too, so I'm still in this game. I think as far as like content further content to be made, I think I want to do a pre-ignition progression video, just to like place where I'm at as far as progression is concerned. I also want to do like a little bit of a, I don't know if I want to do Burning World this time around. I think I do, because I think it'll be fun. And also you get free character slots when you transfer them over. And also you just get training maps. But I think Burning World will be fun to stream or do little like mini progression updates. So I think those will be down the pipeline in a bit. And then hopefully I can do a little bit more of this. I'll try to be more regular in updating this series. This is in real time, so I do not play this character outside of I do not play this character outside of recording this. So at any moment you can jump into this series and be and it is literally in real time. So yeah, I think that'll, there'll be more episodes of this in the future. So let me finish this quest. A boss battle? Yeah, let me finish this boss battle. Oh no! The power of the nine-tailed fox. That's not good. I guess Tengu would be the next episode, right? This is it seems like superficially tanky, but I'm also a paladin, so like I'm also tanky. I don't know. Sweet. I think it worked. You're both really strong. Neat. Never be afraid. Your fear can never hurt you. You always have a choice. You can confront your terror and grow stronger, or you can let it control you. Those are wise words, honestly. Yeah. Confront your fears, use the earth element for good, take care of yourself. Oh, I got the earth element. That's so sweet. Yeah, I did. Huh? Dang, they're flirting. But yeah, thank you for indulging me for the past almost hour. I do appreciate you folks coming along, and sticking with this series. There's one last element to get, and we will get that next time on this Paladin series. Ooh, I think is it Tengu that's next? Oh, that's gonna be fun. I think it's good that Tengu is gonna be a different episode, because I know some folks sort of needed help with doing them. But yeah, for those of you that stuck around for the past 50 minutes, thank you for watching. I do appreciate you folks. I'll be back maybe next week. I don't know. Still need to do a schedule for myself. But you will see, make sure you subscribe and click notifications for when I do upload. And yeah, give this video a like, and tell your friends. And I hope you have a fantastic day. I know I am currently sick, so I hope you're not sick. And if you are, I hope you stay healthy. I'm like vamping, because this is just such a weird, very elongated final scene. Scram Kino. I will say I'm not gonna do like the special like relationship things for this. Alright, she fainted. You've got to hurry and retrieve the wood element. I will hurry. I will hurry and retrieve the wood element, but I will retrieve it next time, and I hope to see you folks there when I do. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.